Anyway, without further ado, I'll go ahead and get into the game. And perhaps, if you don't mind, we can start with the intro questions here. If you can talk a little bit about your background and your role on this project. So I guess just alphabetically. Seth, if you don't mind going first.
Sure. This was fun for me. This was my very first game jam that I've ever participated in. I was the composer and sound designer for this project. And as we move forward, I'm making some more music and custom sound effects for the game. So it's been a lot of fun coordinating with these guys. Both Jake and our other collaborator, Technical Slayer. He wasn't able to be here today, but they're both so talented. So yeah, composer.
Awesome. And then on that note, Jake, if you could introduce yourself and your role in this project.
Yeah, so I'm mainly a writer and producer. For Useless, I was the creative director and artist. And this was also my first game jam and went really well, in my opinion.
All right.
I had a lot of fun.
I'm super glad to hear that it all came together. And or at least that you had fun doing it. So I've played the game just a tiny bit before to get a feel for it, and ignore the continuous deaths here, but I'm just wanting to make sure that the audio balance is right so that folks could actually, hear the music as it's coming through. I'll turn that up just a little bit more. All right. So can you talk a little bit about the inspiration behind the game?
Yeah, so Useless was made for the Game Maker's Toolkit 2023 Game Jam, for which the theme was Roles Reversed. And it's inspired by the worm NPCs from the Lord of the Rings Shadow of Mordor game series. I think they might have been in the Batman Arkham series as well, but basically you can catch these NPCs and interrogate them, and they give you information and weaknesses on their higher-ups. Our idea was, what if you were the NPC, spying on the hero and reporting back to your villainous master?
So when I played the game the first time, I remember actually being able to use the mouse to aim, but now the sort of vision cone of the character is based on which direction the character is moving.
Yeah,
yeah,
go ahead, Peach.
I was going to say this build has been in progress, and there may be new bugs introduced that we haven't taken a look at yet. But yeah, previously it would follow the mouse. I'm not sure why it's not doing that.
That's not a bug, that's actually intentional. We're working on modifying the control scheme to simplify it as much as possible right now.
I just noticed that the only consequence of this, though, is that I can only run away from the hero. I can't, spy on him.
Right. That is semi-intentional right now. It's so that you can't spy as you're running away. But that does modify the difficulty severely.
I'll do my best. In any case, yeah, so we've got this this mechanic that you said was inspired by the Shadow of Mordor and was the Batman Arkham games, the other one?
Maybe. I don't know if it's in those games.
Oh
I
my gosh.
haven't played them in a long time.
If I can just get away from this guy in the first place, he makes a beeline for you. Okay, so I managed to escape. Yeah, so I usually ask about the development process of the game, but neither of you were necessarily involved in the core development process. Is there something that you can talk about, in just with your respective roles, what you did over the course of the development of the game?
Yeah, I'd love to. Which one of us should go first?
Oh, I guess. Well, why not? Go ahead.
Okay. So the development process was a bit hectic. Since it was a game jam and we only had 48 hours, we formed our little team a tad too late and didn't get to make a little practice game that we were planning. But it was an overall positive experience, as I said earlier. I started by making us a design document for ideas, setting up a Trello board for tracking tasks, getting food in the house, which is very important for game jams. And we spent the first half hour brainstorming all together. Then I ran with the idea we settled on and made a paper prototype where I drew all the screens, UI, and characters that would be in the game, and played through a loop of the game while narrating what I was doing. Then once everybody understood the main mechanics, I began delegating tasks, and Technical Slayer got to work. And so did Peach, making the music, obviously.
Awesome. So how much time would you say you actually had to work on the game once the team was formed?
The game jam took place over the 48-hour weekend, and I'd say about 16 hours of that was spent sleeping. So
we did work the whole game jam. We got together as a team, I think Wednesday or Thursday before.
Yeah, I'd say about 38 or 32 hours. Total.
Nice. So then, all things considered, based on what the game is now, how closely would you say it aligns to that initial draft that you laid out?
The game right now is more of a tech demo than anything. The initial draft had, as it says in the description on itch, it was very much a RTS-inspired little thing where this that you're playing right now is, yes, the core of the game, but you are also running around a huge map managing your income and sending notes to your big boss so he can give you progress reports. And there's a little bird messaging system where, depending on how good a job at spying you do, you get more orcs to use as distractions during the main part of the game.
Oh my goodness. Well, the current build is incredibly difficult that I'm just barely able to stay ahead of this guy.
I'm seeing it on your stream there. It is incredibly difficult. I definitely was one who was advocating for it to be too easy, I think, maybe. But this is pretty crazy.
Just because the soldier's vision cone can sweep over you so quickly, and yeah, you have to kind of predict the way that he's going to move. And if he spots you at all, you better oh no. Okay.
you gotta run. Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, so have you given thought to having multiple difficulty modes, or perhaps potentially based on the way that the game is now? Can you talk a little bit about what are some of the changes you plan to make as time goes on?
Yeah, we're always keeping accessibility in mind and taking feedback from people who play it. The main thing that we're working on right now is just, or that we have finished right now, is behavior and AI in general. So we've got these trees that maybe I don't know, I can't show you, sorry. But these trees basically for behavior, where the hero he wanders until he sees an orc, and then he attacks the orc if the orc is attacking a building, and stuff like that.
Man, so yeah, so right now what the orcs are trying to do, as far as my understanding is, these are little buildings, or
yeah.
The hero buildings, you could say.
Okay.
Yeah, so this is a village. The tile set that is being used is actually the incorrect one.
Oh, no.
It's meant to look more like a village, but it got swapped out during the jam. And so this is basically, it's like your typical bad guys attacking a village type deal, and the hero comes in to save them. And you use the orcs as a distraction to spy on the hero. And then in the RTS overview part of the game that is not implemented yet, basically once 3 villages are completely destroyed by the orcs, which is facilitated by your doing a good job spying on the hero, that is what causes the win state for the game.
Nice job completing level 1, by the way. I could not believe that. That was crazy.
Level 1. I mean, again, like once I sort of understood the movement pattern of the guy and then just decided to be like way more patient, and also had a start where I could get my hands on the character fast enough to move him out of the initial vision code in the game. Right. That's when it became like possible. So yeah, that's kind of why I was wondering like how close is this build to the initial vision of the game, because it seems like I understand the intention behind not letting the player just kind of like, because if you have the character, the sort of hero chasing after you, it seems like you basically move at the same speed that he does, so you could sort
slightly
of persistently
slower because his pathfinding is better.
Right.
Not better, it's just more optimized.
Yeah, insofar as like he can take like tighter corners around walls. If I bump into a wall, I slow way down like I'm just doing right now.
Correct. Yeah.
What
I'm not sure how much of that is intentional, but it is something that we are aware of.
What are the... you know what? I'm going to turn the music down just a little bit more. I feel like from one level to the next. It's a little louder? Okay. So what is the purpose of the little tokens that I'm collecting, little monster-shaped tokens?
Those are just a placeholder icon to say that the Overlord has recognized that you destroyed the building. So
okay.
That's the little... Or can you collect them?
Well, I bumped into them and they disappeared, so that's why I thought I could collect them.
Oh, okay. That may be a prototype for a new mechanic where you survey the destruction of the building and you get bonus points.
Yeah, that could make sense in terms of a like sort of collecting a report at the end.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so can you talk a little bit more about what are some of the like planned changes you're going to make for, like you said you had the idea to sort of like simplify the control scheme, and right now I wonder if rather than having to sort of aim and move in the same direction, like you still use the mouse to aim, but you just make it so that if you've been detected and the like hero is actively pursuing you, that doesn't count as spying anymore. Like maybe you have to be standing still and watching the hero in order for it to count.
That's excellent feedback. Yeah, we're always working to, find out what is most genuinely fun. We don't want to ship a game that's not fun, because as much as that is a valid thing to create, as game development students will know, that's not our objective. So we all really like the game conceptually, so our goal is for the three of us to expand it to a point of fulfilling the original vision, in which it is a real-time strategy game where you have to run around and manage the motivation of the orcs, spying on the hero, and reporting to the master instead of just being a demo for the one mechanic.
Gotcha. So I noticed that the hero kind of bugged out in the last level, which kind of gave me the opportunity to clear the last level a little more easily. But I do think it gave me one other idea, which is the closer you can get to the hero without him noticing you, maybe like the faster your progress meter could fill up, because it's a more risky play, right, to like get that close.
I love that. That's a great idea.
Oh, okay. But yeah, otherwise it just becomes a matter of like learning the hero's like movement patterns. Yeah. Does the hero have like designated points on the map that it moves between when it's not chasing or fighting?
My first reaction is to say that it is completely random. He just stops within where he last lost track of you, and then does a little scanny scan. Yeah, that is definitely what happens.
It just seemed like I guess on the first level, it felt like he was sort of pausing at 3 distinct points on the map. That's where I would sort of duck around a corner and observe him for a little while.
It may have been the case that those are just the 3 easiest points to lose in that map.
Yeah, it's an interesting emergent behavior because that's how it felt. So, yeah, it's interesting to trying to create an AI that is predictable enough for the player to feel like they can sort of take this chance and spy on them, while also making it unpredictable enough that it's not just a given is very tricky. And I think this guy's gonna kill me. No. Gotta use my diagonal movement speed. No, he's gonna outpace me unless I can get to these orcs. The orcs abandoned me. They started moving away from me. But yeah, so having a slightly more elaborate control scheme to call orcs to your aid, literally commanding them to sort of sacrifice themselves so that you can get away. I can see that being a very fun mechanic.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so we can move on to the actually we were still sort of halfway through the second question there. But Seth, did you want to talk a little bit about your development process, as it were, for creating the music for the game?
Sure. Yeah. Over the last couple months, I've really optimized my workflow using Ableton. I have a 88-key keyboard that I do all of my composing on, and of course, just a slew of synthesizers and such. The first 3 tracks that were made were all more video game-esque. The main title theme, level 1, level 2. Level 2 is super inspired by the soundtracks from Celeste and Risk of Rain. I had a lot of fun making those. And it got me a little bit more confident as I was creating for the weekend. It was pretty much the only thing that I was doing that weekend. I was really happy to be able to just get in the groove with the keys and with the software and go crazy. The track that you're listening to right now is called The Tower. Jake and Technical both thought it would be cool to have something that was inspired by Lord of the Rings. So this theme that you're listening to here is inspired by the Isengard theme. And I absolutely love how this turned out. This is probably the best soundtrack thing that I've ever made. Spent just an entire Saturday making it. All of the sound effects that you hear in it are created by me, engineered by me in my second bedroom of my apartment. And yeah, I just had a ton of fun with this. I'm really happy with how the music came out. A lot of the folks on our page were happy with how the music came out as well, I believe. And going forward, I'm excited to create more of a map, sort of overview. That was such a bummer. That death was you were trying to hide and everything.
Just
looking forward to making more sound effects and such. So
nice. Yeah. I mean, I'm glad I at least made it far enough in the game so that everyone could hear the 3. Sorry, did you say 3 or 4 tracks in the game so far?
So there's actually 5 tracks in the game. If the credit song is still in there, I believe. There is an ending song that you hear if you beat everything.
Don't know about that.
I don't even remember how it goes. I don't think it's anything special. But yeah, the main theme and the stage 2 and stage 1 and stage 3 themes, those 4 themes, I spent a lot of time on those. I'm happy with how they came out. They were a lot of fun.
Nice.
The main menu theme and the first level theme are definitely more inspired by spy kind of music, and then 2 and 3 are a bit more in line with thematically, I think, where we want the game to go rather than where it is right now necessarily. So
gotcha.
A lot of fun.
Right. So what do you think was the most difficult problem that you encountered during the game jam, and how did you solve it?
So Our most difficult problem during the jam was the lack of communication between some of our members. We made the mistake of partnering with some people who were in a much different time zone, which was not exactly conducive to good teamwork. Those members didn't end up doing a whole lot. I've actually had this problem before on an even bigger project in university, but I made the mistake of not using my negative experience from back then to influence this game. If I could do it again, I would interview and vet people a lot more carefully. Team composition is extremely important. The unfortunate reality of our economy today is that it's built around like minimizing losses. Job hunting is an arduous process. Applying for jobs is an arduous process because people are trying to prevent this from happening ahead of time. You want to see the best in people and give them a chance no matter what, but the truth of the matter is that sometimes they just don't fit.
Yeah,
Anyway,
or different people could be like a better or worse fit for different work circumstances. I've definitely encountered that myself as well.
Yeah, Jake, did we have like a team of 5 at one point? We had like 5 people in the Discord, and
yeah, we were supposed to have 2 more programmers.
We do have 5.
We were supposed to have 2 more programmers and another artist to share the workload. Anyway, this left us with our composer, Seth, the programmer, Technical Slayer, and myself, Jake, who was originally supposed to be the creative director, but because of all that, I became the artist as well. We had to scope down a ton in order to get the submission in on time. And we got the spying mechanic in, did some bug testing, and just sent it. So scoping down, I would say, was primarily the solution for the lack of communication.
Oh, that is nonsense. There's no way he saw me. Like he turned his vision cone back towards me and started moving without having seen me.
There could be like a charge meter that is like, even if it's just like 1 second of reaction time, before the hero truly sees you and starts chasing you or something.
Yeah, like I think I've seen that in a lot of stealth games. There's like a little meter that like fills up in the middle of the screen saying like how conspicuous you are. The like more exposed you are.
Every Ubisoft game has that.
Okay, yeah, I haven't actually played any of them, but I know exactly what you're talking about. So
yes, yeah.
That's probably where I'm pulling it from. I think like, yeah, there's plenty of games that do that. It seems like a pretty simple way of achieving that basic concept. So you've clearly like you've got plans for the game going forward, and is that going to be something that you want to commercialize, or is it just a matter of like having this as a portfolio piece and you want to have it completed to the initial spec? Like, what are the sort of long-term plans in that direction?
Yeah, I think the latter is definitely what we are focusing on. We don't want to like. I want to say this is not my best work, so it's definitely more of a portfolio piece than anything. Just a proof of concept that we can gather ourselves around this idea and fulfill it. But if there are any game devs in chat, junior game devs, definitely team composition is probably the most important aspect of anything.
Yeah, I would agree. This specific project, I think, for Jake and I, is a drop in the bucket for sure. I think it's a great proof of concept. We're not giving up on it. Slow and steady wins the race. There's other projects that Jake and I are actually both already working on, and together even. Actually, I forgot about that. But yeah, I'm doing commission music for folks. So if people want, music for their games or for their indie films or whatever. I've been getting into that quite a bit and have had a lot of success with that actually over the past couple weeks. So that's been awesome. But yeah, definitely going forward, I think we're both very passionate about the work that we do. And I don't think that we'll be, selling out anytime soon or giving it up. So yeah.
Awesome. Well, I think that leads us nicely to the sort of last question here, which is if you have any other projects you'd like to plug and any links you want to drop in chat.
Right at the end there?
That seems like, yes, we did.
Hey, perfect timing. How about that?
Nice job, dude.
Oh my God. That was difficult.
The difficulty, yeah. It took like 30 minutes to beat. Nice job.
But yeah, go ahead and plug yourself, Seth.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, sure. Sorry, I didn't even hear your question. I was so excited for you winning the game. What was your question?
Oh, I just said like you've got a Twitch channel, right, where you live stream, and if you'd like to like plug that or any other projects, you mentioned you were working on some stuff. So.
Oh, sure. Yeah. I'd love to. Am I allowed to send?
Yep, you can drop links in chat. Yes.
Okay, for sure. Yeah, I will. I will do that real quick. Yeah, I've been doing work for other people for a little bit now. I've been really happy with how everything is turning out for people, and they're happy with the work that's being sent to them. This is my Twitch. I do composition live on stream. If that's something you're interested in, give me a follow. I do every Thursday night. And then I do also have a Fiverr where I make people music. So if you've ever, even if you're not making a game, if you're just somebody on the street who wants a song written for them, that's your own song, give me $5. I'll give you a little, 60 to 90 second tune that you can call your own, and I would love to do it for you. It's my passion. So yeah.
Awesome. All right, and then Jake, if there's any other projects you'd like to plug or social media links you'd like to share.
Yeah, this is my itch. You can follow me there. I'm going to be releasing a first-person horror game pretty soon. I mean, maybe within the year. My name is Midnight Snack 70 on Discord. I'm always open for like missions or whatever. I do lots of writing, project management, and I've got a Twitter where you can see my full portfolio.
Nice. Is this the one you're talking about, the first-person horror vines?
Yeah, that's the one.
Cool. Well, thank you both so much for joining me on the stream today. If you would like to come back and talk about this or any other project in the future, I'd be more than happy to have you.
Thanks so much. Yeah.
All
and
right.
I'll be sticking around in your stream to check out some of these other interviews over the course of the next few minutes.
Okay, sounds great. Well, thanks so much once again, and enjoy the rest of your day. Bye-bye for now.
Thanks so much, man. Have a good one.
Yeah, likewise.
Yeah.
Bye.